Yep, hold on.
Hi guys, welcome to today's breathwork session. Sandy's just getting comfortable over in Hingham, and our office is over there.
Grand Rising, everybody. Yeah, so I am live from the sauna. And I welcome everybody to today's podcast. We are the People's Congregation of Shakers and Movers, and Matt is over there at our Education and Resource Center at 63 Washington Street. And I just wanted to let everybody know that Matt does hold space on Wednesday nights as well at 7 p.m. Arrive, and then from 7 to 7:30, Matt does a sound healing and breathwork session, which is donation based. And then every Wednesday at 1 p.m., we have our midweek reset with Anna, which I have been missing the last couple of weeks. And I'm so happy that I'm back and I can actually do that again this week, Matt. And then Friday night, Anna is going to be leading us in a yoga nidra practice. So if you've never done yoga, it's a really good opportunity to start because it's a really mellow, slow flow for about 20 minutes. And then we lay down for about a half an hour and she does a body scan. So you really have a chance to meditate and just relax and shake off the week. And so speaking of relaxing and shaking off the week, we always talk about the sauna, Matt, but I've never showed the people the chair. So we have this amazing chair over here in Hingham, right? And it's no joke, right, Matt? How much do you like this chair?
I love it. I would probably live in it.
So it is a membership benefit that you can book out this room for 90 minutes, which is a long time. You know what I mean? Like you need time to heal, right? So I love to come into the space, I turn on the sauna, and then I get in the chair while the sauna is heating up, right? So watch this. Let's see if the camera can see. Like, woo, this thing is literally like NASA spaceship technology. It's like, whoa. So I'm going to do my breath work in the chair today, Matt. So I'm going to mute myself because the chair makes some noise, as you know. So I'm going to let you take it away. And don't forget to sign up for our newsletter, pcsam.org. And thank you, Matt, for holding space today. And I'm going to let you take it away.
Yeah, I think what's nice about the chair, what actually really surprised me, is that like how it massages, like almost like it feels like it's actually a person because it like stops and pushes, like comes back. Like pretty amazing.
Well, yeah, and you can change the intensity. And I mean, nothing is going to ever replace a human touching me, but this is definitely the next best thing for sure.
I did have a 2-hour massage last week, and yeah, I need to do that every month.
But yeah, welcome everybody to Breathwork with Matt. Oh my God, this is so intense. Okay, I'm going to mute myself because I always squeal.
Yeah. And then you guys, just for the Wednesday night sound healing and breathing, it's 7 to 7:30 is actually just kind of greet and meet, and then 7:30 8:30 is when we do the session.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Sorry.
Just to not confuse anyone on that. So yeah, we also have some guests in the house today, which is exciting. Yeah, you might want to put some light on. There you go. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to kind of feed off a little bit of what we did. So I'm not, just to explain just a little bit with the guests in the house here, I'm not going to be falling into like an activating breath for like, if we do it, it's going to be very brief. We're going to probably do some more relaxed breathing today, and maybe with a slight activating breath, but we're not going to go into it like more. It'll be under 8 minutes. And so if you've done activating breathing before, you notice like once you get to 8 minutes, for everyone out there, like that's when we really dive in, and it can become a very different experience, like for the body and for the journey. So I'm just going to invite everyone today to settle into your space, to either be sitting down, laying down, and just to take a few moments and just to tune in to the body and what are the needs of the body as you're settling into your space. Does the body need a little bit of movement, some shifting? you need to stand up and stretch for a moment. And what I find really beautiful when we're settling into a space is, do we have the capacity to listen to our body and what it's asking for or what the needs are of the body? And sometimes I feel like with meditations, it's like we need to be still and sitting, and that's not always the case. It's really like, what do you need? What does the body actually need? Sometimes it's going to need the stillness. Sometimes we need to shift and move and wiggle, maybe make sounds, and just permissioning self to settle into the space and tuning in and listening to the needs of the body as we settle into this space. And just breathing in any way that is correct for you in this moment. If it's breathing in and out through the nose, if we're adding the mouth in for the exhale. And so just lightly tuning into the body as well as tuning into our breath and how are we breathing in this moment? And just settling into that space of the breath. And as our body begins to settle into the space, to maybe take a moment as well and just acknowledge safety for yourself, the safety of the space that you are in. Maybe just looking at your space or just feeling into your space. Maybe just recognizing how are we feeling in our system and in our body, and how safe do we feel within that space. And just acknowledging that for a moment with your breath. And so really, as well, like any sounds that you hear today, I'm not doing any sound instruments today. I'm just going to be doing sounds of nature, just because it's so beautiful to have some warm weather and spring coming in. And I'm just been really tuning into nature the last couple of days. And as we settle maybe a little bit deeper into our space, inviting in awareness of the contact points that your body is making with the floor, maybe the chair, and just like noticing the contact points and breathing into the contact points that your body is making with the ground, the chair, and allowing for this to maybe bring us a little bit more into our body and how it's feeling, and using the contact points to help raise that awareness to how things feel within our system. Maybe taking notice of contact points as well with like your clothes or glasses or shoes or socks or a blanket or a pillow. And just breathing into all these contact points and just inviting in or tuning in to how these sensations feel within our system. And today we're going to invite in a light scan. So maybe, and as we scan the body, you may again invite in movement. If you have trouble connecting with particular parts of the body, we can add in touch or tapping, massage, pressure, just squeezing. If an energy or an area of our system is feeling heavy or agitated or slightly triggered or overly excited, to help bring into balance, I just invite in, like with your in-breath, to breathe like into the eyes for a moment. And just breathing in the energy into our eyes and just taking notice of how our eyes feel. And on the out-breath, maybe pushing any overexcitement or heaviness away and allowing for a softening within that system. Maybe even beginning to take notice of how it feels behind the eye or around the socket of the eye. And then just kind of like slowly dripping down into the cheeks and taking notice of the cheeks, the jawline, and breathing into the spaces. As well as maybe breathing into the lips, feeling the tongue in the mouth. Maybe feeling the tongue soften and kind of drop down a little bit. Or feeling a softness around the jawline. And since we're on the mouth, I'm going to invite in just this discovery of an energy. And so I invite you, if you would like, to rise up the corner of the lips into whatever kind of smile you would like to have. And just to breathe for a moment into that energy of a smile. An offering here to discover the energy of a smile and how beautiful that may feel. And maybe even allowing for that energy of the smile to expand within our system as we continue moving down the body, maybe into the throat, feeling what's alive here, breathing into it and pushing everything out, any tightness, heaviness, bringing in that softness or softening to the system. Maybe even inviting in that smile and allowing for that to travel with you, that energy if you can find it. Maybe dropping down to the shoulders, letting the shoulders drop a little bit. And then just on your own, just scan down through the arms and through the fingers for a moment. Again, just inviting in what you need. If it's a little bit of movement, maybe a little bit of self-massage or touch or tapping can help us feel into the body a little bit deeper. For many of us, it's hard to connect with the body. We haven't really always learned how to connect. And so sometimes when we add in the touch and we bring our attention and attune into that, it can help us discover or rediscover a connection with our body. And then we're going to switch and focus in on the heart for a moment. And so I'm just going to invite in a change of breath for a moment. And so what I'm going to invite in is that we breathe through our mouth. And we're going to draw the energy into the heart. And we're just going to do a brief hold and just feel the energy of the heart within our system and see if we can discover that. On the out breath, we're going to push that energy of the heart throughout our system or out around us. And we're just going to invite in a brief hold on the exhale as well. And just feel the energy become more expansive. So we're feeling into the heart on the hold when we breathe in. And on the exhale, the expansiveness of this energy, kind of like with the smile. And as we tune into the heart, maybe we're noticing the beating slowing down or softening. Maybe allowing for the heart to soften. Maybe become a little bit more expansive with this energy back to the spine and filling the chest cavity. And now just letting that breath go and just sinking into how you feel for a moment. And just tuning into your system. And then just dropping down to our stomach into the hips. And again here, we hold a lot of tension here as well and heaviness. So just really breathing in, maybe. I like to sometimes almost rub the stomach area and the hips and add some movement. And really just breathing into that space, breathing out the heaviness. Or just breathing, bringing the system into balance. And then on your own time, I'm just going to have you just kind of scan down to the toes and the legs. And just let you do this on your own time for a moment. And just breathe in any way that is correct for you for right now. I'm going to do this for about one more minute. And then in a moment, I'm going to invite in a nose breath. We're really going to just take as big of an inhale as you're comfortable with, breathing into the stomach. And then we're going to pull the energy up to the top of the head for a hold. And I'm just going to invite you to hold it as long as you're comfortable. You can, and when we breathe into a hold, I just invite in softening the hold and not stressing with it, but just feeling the energy. And then on the exhale, we're just going to drop into how the body feels. And so 3, 2, 1, nice deep inhale through the nose, filling the stomach. and then holding as long as you're comfortable, and then exhaling out through the mouth fully on your time. And dropping into, where are you now? How do you feel? Maybe even bring that smile back into the energy field, and just thanking yourself for taking the time to tap into your system, and just acknowledging that process for yourself. And then just inviting in a nose breath and breathing into the stomach. And just inviting in here, feeling the breath. Really just allowing, what does the body go through as you're breathing? And just trying to tap into that. And so sometimes we have like these little battles, like where I'm maybe trying to figure out how to feel into the system or the breath and feel the breathing. And then sometimes we have a little battle with the mind because stuff is coming in, either stuff from the past or the future, or things that maybe we're trying not to have present with us. And so as you know, this is just like breathing into the heaviness. So we can breathe into a thought that we want to let go of, because we're not maybe at that point of where we should focus on that thought. So just acknowledging it, speaking to the thought, speaking to yourself, and maybe just letting yourself know that I hear you. I will come back to you later today when it's time for me to give you attention. And so right now I'm going to breathe into you and then just let you go on the out breath, and letting you know that I am here for you and will come back when I can give you the right attention. And this type of self-talk can be really beautiful and helping to quiet the mind and letting your system know that you hear it, acknowledge it, support it, and letting the system know that it's okay for me to let you go and come back to you at the right time. And then just inviting in, feeling a slowness within your system, feeling the body calm itself through the breath, breathing through the nose. Maybe almost feeling like the whole system is slowing down. And as we feel into the slowing down, I'm just going to bring back gently that poem that we read last week and breathed into, of this is your day, right? And a part of that is like, we have that choice to create what we want. And so, this process of breathing into our thoughts and observing them, maybe speaking to them, is a way to feel into that energy. It could be a little bit of anxiety if it's something that you're worried about that's coming up later today or tomorrow. And maybe the stress of something from the past. But we can choose to, how are we going to acknowledge this and when are we going to work on it at the right time. We also have another choice to let that energy kind of run wild and take control of the day, and allowing for the mind and for these different energies that maybe aren't serving us in this particular moment. We can let them build up, and really it can energize our system into stress, discomfort. But by acknowledging these energies, maybe as well breathing in what feels correct for you, maybe even breathing in safety to the energy, speaking to the energy and just letting it know that you're here, that we can support ourselves through the breath and through feeling. Maybe even sometimes in our walking life, we might have to wiggle or move to help shift that heaviness of that energy. And I love part of like the mission here of bringing in like music and dance, because when we think about it, like dance has really, it used to be so ceremonial for tribes, and we've really kind of stepped away from that. So why was movement and dance like so ceremonial? And what they understood was that as we're shifting and moving energies within our system, it's that knowledge of like sometimes it needs a little bit of help through movement to help dislodge any heaviness or overexcitement, as well as acknowledging it and thinking or speaking to that energy, and then listening to the system, because movement can really help kind of break it apart, especially if it's something that's difficult to let go of. And so I'm going to bring in gently the conscious connected breathing today, which is a slightly activating breath. We're just going to do it for a few moments. And so we're just going to practice it for a moment. So conscious connected breathing is just one activating breath of many. Um, it's mouth breathing, so it's kind of like a quick sip of air in, where we really kind of bring a big gulp of air in at once. And then on the exhale, it's kind of shortened, and we're just kind of like letting it out, but not extending the breath. And then we're breathing into the stomach, and it's a pattern that is what we call a circular pattern. So we're trying not to pause with after the inhale or exhale. So it feels something like this. Now I'm just going to invite in just breathing this in and practicing with me for a moment. And if anyone does have any questions, you can type it in, or if anyone here has a question, please feel free to ask. So it's something like this. It's mouth breathing. So it's when we do this breath, it can bring in tingling, or it can make us feel a little warm or cold. It is slightly activating. So just try it for a moment, breathing in through the mouth, into the stomach. And titration is really important here. So we can when you hear me breathing, I'm bringing it out a little bit more activating, because so that you can hear me. But the breath can also be very quiet and calm, meaning that we're only doing a slight activation. And the more heavier or deeper that we bring in the breathing, then we're rising or raising the activation level. And so, for an individual who, whenever we do activating breathing, this is titration. It's like, am I going to turn the flame down really low? Is that what feels safe for me? Or am I going to turn it up a little bit and increase the energy, and then finding that level of safety within that increase? Because if we go past our level of safety and really activate the system, that can um, put us into that stress, and then we're losing control of the energy, and the energy may take over. And now I just invite you to take a break with the breath for a moment. And I just want to check in here. Like, are you all, does that breath make sense to you? Okay. Does it feel okay? Okay. Okay.
Getting dry in my mouth.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up. So,
Oh, I see.
so I just had someone mention like a drying in the mouth. So one thing that you can do is you can also put the tongue on top of your mouth, and that will help activate some saliva. And if you do need to take any breaks, or you stop the breathing for a moment, like, just knowing that that's okay too, and just permission ourselves to go through the process. And just because I think sometimes, like, what is difficult when we move into a breathing pattern is, first of all, we're really focused up here on trying to stay with the breath. And so part of the process of why I was saying trying to feel into your breath in the beginning is like we just want to start feeling it. And then sometimes as a facilitator, my job is to like breathe with you and to help you bring it back. So what are we going to use this breath for today? So we're going to use this breath, and I'm going to invite in slowing down our day. And so I'm going to invite you for a moment to use the brain and to think of like what's real in your life that maybe, like, for me, so I just, opened up the office right next to where Sandy's at right now. And so as I was doing the painting and moving and getting stuff in there and setting everything up, for me, I really slowed the process down because my normal self would want to rush it and get it done as quickly as possible. But when I slowed the process down and didn't really put a timestamp on it, then I was able to enjoy the process a little bit more, maybe not make as many mistakes, and just allowed for myself to feel into what I was doing. Another thing I've been really noticing lately is also like how I walk. And so, and sometimes I'll watch people like how they walk, and everyone, like, I was in the city I think like 2 weeks ago or something, and I was early for this appointment, so I just, instead of going inside, I just sat like on some bench thing, and and I was just watching people, and it was just amazing how much like I could see the stress and how people were walking and so rushed to get somewhere, and just walking really hard and fast, and it didn't look comfortable. And so for me, even really slowing down how I walk has been something I've been aware of. But it can be anything: cooking, um, just maybe even slowing down the process of taking a shower. Um, one of the things I was doing on Wednesday that we were talking about was actually like standing up and trying to put your socks and shoes on with your foot balanced in the air, not touching anything, and really slowing that process down while at the same time working on your balance. So I'm going to invite in for you, as we start this breath in a minute, to really pick a couple things and use some imagery and allow for the breath to just find the energy within your system of slowing down whatever it is that you are bringing into imagery and creating, and maybe seeing something a little bit different in your life. Maybe slowing down the body and the intensity of, like when you're driving. Even when we're sitting doing something, we can slow the system down so that we're not so tight and maybe stressed. Does that sound pretty good for you? Okay. And so I'm going to invite in just to tap into that conscious connected mouth breathing for a moment. And as you're tapping into the breath, just to feel into the breath, just feel the breath. And as you're feeling into the breath, maybe just bringing in the idea of slowing down. And maybe seeing if you can discover, like, is there a place in your body where you feel that in particular? Or are you feeling it in the whole system? Or maybe you just can't find it, and that's whatever is alive for you is okay. And just tapping into the breath. But just feeling the body for a moment and just allowing yourself to fall into the breath for a second. And as you're gently falling into the breath, just inviting in for you to walk yourself through whatever you want to choose that's alive for you in your journey. And just feel and picture yourself slowing everything down and really enjoying the experience and the movement, no matter what it is. Staying with the breath, breathing into the stomach. And if you finish that, you can move on to something else, or you can stay with it as long as you want. Just a beautiful job staying with the breath and breathing in this energy of just slowing down our day and the things that we do every day. Maybe bringing in a little bit more joy to what we do, feeling into what we're doing. Maybe not allowing for time to be that stressor. we do so many things every day. Our moments change constantly. And when we can bring in the awareness of just like nose breathing in our, well, right now you're doing the conscious connected breath, but feeling the energy, but we can really become consciously aware of our breathing from moment to moment and just allowing ourselves to feel into what we're doing more and slowing it down. Maybe just enjoying it, maybe just enjoying walking to the car or the process of cooking. Whatever it is for you. Just staying with this breath. And then just finishing up whatever part you're on. And then just gently bringing back in the nose breath. And so, we can do like longer breath work sessions with this. This was just really brief today. But, sometimes like with this activating breath, we can really feel a little bit more into an energy of something that we're trying to create or an energy that maybe we're trying to transform. And by feeling and recognizing the energy at a little bit of a deeper level, it might help with our relationship with ourself and the energies within us. Because a lot of times people are like, we need to get to know ourselves or develop that relationship with self. And a part of it is the energies that are arising within us as we shift from moment to moment, activity to activity, thing to thing, whatever it is to whatever it is. And then just the invitation to bring in a little bit more slowness and calmness into what we are doing throughout our day. And as we're returning to the nose breathing, just inviting in any movement, your awareness to the space and the room that you're in, and just kind of gently bringing yourself back. Maybe reconnecting with safety within your space, within yourself. And just a light reminder as you are coming back to, we have this beautiful power to create anything that we want to create. Every moment, every day, every change in our day, like we can have a blank sheet of paper in front of us, and then we can draw and write out and create whatever we want with these moments. We don't have to let the moment dictate how we're going to feel or what's going to happen. We have the power to actually create whatever beauty we want with our words of being kind and gentle with ourselves and just being creative with the beauty that we want to have each day.
I love that, Matt.
What?
You hear me?
Yeah.
I unmuted myself. Now I see what you mean. I didn't have my glasses on, so I think I was actually upside down at the beginning of the podcast.
Okay.
Well, and I came out of the sauna, and again, I get really like I do my breath work in there, so I get really like zenned out. But then I was in a hurry, right, to get on the podcast. And so your message to slow down, I'm really going to take to heart today, because that's what happened. I was like, oh my gosh, I got out of the sauna. It was 10:58. I had to run into the bathroom. And that's why I just had to leave to go use the bathroom, in fact, because I didn't even have a chance to pee. And so, I was just like, I was super like, oh no, I'm going to be late. You know what I mean? And so once you kind of start your day with that energy, and that's why the camera was upside down, right? Because I wasn't taking my time. I was rushed. You know what I mean? So this was like a perfect real life example. And yeah, and I think, for me when I was growing up, sitting around the dinner table and having dinner together as a family was a ritual. It was something we did every night. And I'm so grateful for that, because it was our time to talk. It was our time to catch up. How was your day? I'm a very slow eater, because it's usually the one time a day that I actually do stop. Like, I prefer, with my dosha, I prefer to be in a really chaotic, like busy restaurant, eating very, very slow. You know what I mean? Like, I love the action. Like you said, I love people watching. I love seeing what's happening. So that's like my favorite way to eat, is like slow, but in chaos, if that makes sense. And so I just really, again, thank my mom and dad for always making that a priority, to have a family dinner every night. And then we would have Sunday dinner with my grandma at grandma's house. And like you said about taking that time to slow down when you cook your food, how we teach our children how to cook is our legacy, right? Because when we pass on, the kids are still going to make that chowder. Actually, my dad taught Naomi how to make clam chowder this weekend, fish chowder. And that's so special, right? Because she'll be able to someday make that for my grandkids when my dad and I are both gone. So I love this idea of like savoring life and slowing down and using all your senses, when you do stuff. Like, really think about how lucky you are, how, blessed, whatever the word is that you use. Express gratitude, I think, comes naturally when you slow down, because you're like, oh wow, like it could actually be a lot worse. I'm late, but at least I didn't crash my car, or you know what I mean? Like, so thank you for reminding me to slow down, because I know it is something I struggle with.
Well, I think
So I
like what you mentioned in the beginning is actually really important, because like we can go into that like hustle of going here and there, like like from the sauna to having to go to the bathroom, and all of a sudden you start this rushing, and
right.
and that can really snowball and really create like a high, like where we're hyperventilating all day, we're breathing incorrectly, we're really, raising the stress levels of the body, and then we're maybe just in. And for someone like you, you're just always on fire. You're always like going. And so, like, sometimes to calm that flame down a little bit and just kind of take notice of some things, and know when to turn the flame up and when to bring it down a little bit.
Well, this is why I have a breathwork coach, Matt, right? And if anybody is interested in having Matt be their breathwork coach, you could definitely reach out to us either through Matt's Instagram is Rise Up Breathwork. The church is PCS Church. Sometimes it's easier to reach us through Instagram, I think, because things get lost in email. So definitely reach out to us via Instagram if you guys are still watching. Follow us there. And then do sign up for my newsletter. And, Matt is available now. He has this beautiful healing space that's very private. And it's a really beautiful gift that you have for us, Matt, in the community. I need you. Thank you for
Yeah,
being there.
you're welcome. Yeah, and before we go, just one more thing. I just wanted to check in this space here. So I just wanted to see if there's anything you ladies want to bring up, or if not, you're free to express. I just want to give you a chance to express if you feel that desire.
I noticed one thing for me when I was in the breath work and you kept telling me to smile. My body was so relaxed. It was like, don't even move muscle. Like, don't smile. But like, I was smiling inside. Nice. I was happy. But
I love that.
I don't know if anyone's ever had that happen to them. Like, I just felt my face just felt so paralyzed.
Yeah. No, I love that, because it's really just like discovering the energy of that feel good, and we don't always have to just raise.
Inside, I was like, I could see myself smiling, but I knew on the outside if I wasn't.
Yeah, thank you.
I connect with what you had said with maybe like letting go of something or like even inviting something new into your space. Like it's the last day of me moving. I'm saying goodbye to my like childhood home almost, and my dog also passed away. She was 13. Little Chihuahua, yeah. So I'm saying goodbye to that and my dog and moving forward into like this new chapter of like not knowing exactly what I'm gonna do, but at the same time trying to like take in, you know, just good vibes and also being in both of your spaces was very peaceful and thank you and safe. I felt safe. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I love that. It can be hard letting something like that go. Hood and like so many things, and then to have a new seed and a new growth in a new place can be really beautiful. So yeah, so maybe even just like what we did today too, just breathing into it, slowing it down, and also even honoring where you're leaving. I think is sometimes really beautiful too, just to honor like the beauty that was there and the life that was there, and knowing that I can bring that with me to a new place too. I love that. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we're gonna bring it to a close here, and yeah, if anyone wants to dive deeper into sound healing, come on down tomorrow night. I think the sound healing too is like can be really beautiful because it helps bring us to that place, to that void, and yeah, I just have all the instruments in Hingham right now. I didn't go back out there this morning. I was in the woods this morning, so I was too slow.
Well, that's okay because
But
we're learning from you, my friend. I appreciate this message today so much. Yeah, so again, thank you, Matt, for coaching us and being there for us. And yeah, hopefully we'll see some new faces on Friday night for Yoga Nidra with Anna. That's always a joy. So yeah, come on down to 63 Washington Street. Friday night is a sober, positive environment, which means alcohol free. So we just you do not bring any alcoholic beverages, but you're, permissioned to use whatever sacraments in our safe and sacred space in the back to relax or calm yourself if you should choose to do so.
yeah,
So thank you. It's a come as you are situation. As we say, we're all recovering from something, like it doesn't have to be alcohol. It doesn't have to be drugs. It could be trauma. It could be fear. It could be self-limiting beliefs, in general. So anybody who wants to come and just try Yoga Nidra for free, come hang out with me. I love you. Thank you, Matt. And I will see you later.
I